back everyone, Shikai Hogan here, reporting for the festival. So, well, last week we are trying to get this particular car with a classic cult car. I forgot which one already, but well, as the result of the last week, I managed to get this particular car right here. This is the Napier-Railton. It's a car. Well, it's an old race car, I guess. But more importantly, this car is actually using an aircraft engine, which is the engine is called Napier-Lion, which I forgot, but the engine is used in two lineup of aircraft by the British Air Force, I guess. I'm not sure. But yeah, there are two aircraft. I'll show the pictures right there. And yes, since it has the setup of W engine, apparently because, well, we live in such a, well, they were living in such a simpler time, it has three different exhausts. One is right here, which is kind of hard to see right now because of the filter. But there is one, if you can see it closely, there. And then the other two is on the left side, so not only it has an odd number of exhausts, it's also so asymmetrical. Yeah. And even better, the exhaust doesn't even look like our modern exhaust. But that's what might make it really interesting. And I think there's a fuel cap on the front. Is it fuel cap or oil cap? I don't know. No, I think this is the fuel cap. That is the oil cap. Right. And yes, I have this special paint job here, but we'll go out from this photo mode real quick. Just to show you how it looks like in actual color. And yes, there you go. That is the actual paint job based on British aircraft during World War. Really love that kind of paint job, to be honest. Because, well, I play World of Warplanes, even though I prefer a German aircraft. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. And well, I already tuned it to A class, and surprisingly, for such a thin tire, this car is doing well. Maybe because how long the wheelbase is. And we're sitting quite far on the back. Wrong button. You can see there. So on the left side, that's the rear view mirror. Because it's asymmetrical, so they only need one. And for the rest of the stuff, you have to look by yourself. Not much going on here, to be honest. Before that, I want to make sure what happened if we upshift. Okay, it still goes to the stick shift. So, I mean, I know some car had problem where they do the pedal shift animation instead of stick shift animation. So, just making sure. Apparently, they do it correctly this time. So that's a good thing. So, in case you want to hear the engine of this beautiful aircraft. Yeah, it's not exactly the loudest in this game, at least. But it does kind of sound like an aircraft in a way. And yes, it spits fire. No pun intended. From time to time, come on. Yep, there we go. Just to show you how it's going to spit fire, but unfortunately, it doesn't look the best when it comes to spitting fire. But that's alright, really. So, right, for our first race, since, well, it seems like this is just straight line focus. And, well, the fact that it doesn't have a proper roll bar, because if you flip, it's that roll bar that won't help you out. Like, seriously, what? I mean, my character it only protects up to my neck. So if this car flips, I'm pretty sure I'll break my neck and, well, possibly die. Also, a fun fact, the inside of the tire, if you have the what is it, the Horizon race compound, the inside is actually just mirrored, so the lettering is flipped, as you can see there. It's interesting how we can see it works in this game sometimes. But anyway, let's start with the drag strip, just to see how fast it is on the straight line. Oh yeah, Napier-Railton, it's from 1933. Such an old car, and it's just 1 year earlier than the 1934 Alfa Romeo P3. I mean, well, of course we have the older one, like this Bentley 4.5 liter supercharged, which is 1931, and even older, which is the Bugatti Type 35C, which is 1926. Man, this car, most of us, well, probably all of us aren't even born yet. Like, I mean, only a few people born that's still at the time that's still alive these days, I feel. So yeah, I'm just going to call it the wingless aircraft because there are no wings, literally, and this is using an aircraft engine. It's one of the fastest car at the time, apparently. Maybe I should look into it a bit further instead of just looking at the engine. It doesn't accelerate that fast, but yeah, that those auto union Ds are a lot faster. But then again, this car is really heavy. I'm going to show you real quick, right after this loading screen, because I mean, yes, it has a lot of horsepower under the hood, but the power delivery isn't that great, and then we have the problem of weight. So 421 kilowatts, which is around 300 horsepower. Yeah, I mean, it's fast for the time, but it's just pure brute force for top speed because it weighs almost 2,000 kilograms. Just that 160 kilograms more, and yeah, I mean, this is after the tune-up, so probably weigh a bit more. Well, this car isn't exactly like either, but it's kind of interesting to drive because it doesn't have front brakes when you first get it, because I don't know what's in their mind back then, but then again, back then the best brakes is just drum brakes. I mean, well, maybe already disc brake, but I don't know when this brake was invented. But this car only has rear brakes because they don't know how to mount it on the front, I guess. So it just won't stop with the stock configuration of this car. Alright, let's do an actual race this time. Yeah, let's go with the Moorhead Wind Farm Circuit. And we're going to do it on winter, obviously. So this is not the best idea, to be honest, but you know, the other cars aren't even great as well on winter, to be honest. So yeah, the only problem here is that this car is quite heavy. I mean, the front brake still counts when you actually tune it up, but if you don't tune it, it won't have the front brake, I feel. I mean, it still shifts like normal when you already... Yeah, it drives like any other car in Forza after you tune it up. Alright, should be interesting to launch the car like this. But as you can hear, that sounds like an aircraft, and there is some whine from the engine. I mean, if you don't tune it up, you won't hear it, but after you tune the car up... Yep, some of them are already end up on the wall. Can't stop. But Yeah. What do I have to say again? So if you tune it up, it will has this whiny sound, but if not, there won't be any sound like this. So it's interesting with this car because it changed some of the sound, I feel, if I remember correctly as well, but I think it doesn't have it when I first got it. Because I'm pretty sure after I tune it, I'm kind of surprised. Well, there is some sort of engine noise like this. So yeah, also those exhausts are mounted individually to each side of the cylinder. Like, I mean, for each line of cylinder, they will have one exhaust, which is interesting. Ooh, driving this car in the snow isn't the best idea, but it's more bearable than when you first got it, because when you first got it, the car doesn't even have grip, so it won't even stop on the snow. I mean, this, well, it can stop a little bit. Well, a little bit better because it's still snowing, but yeah, we'll do some proper no snow racing after this, because you won't see the full potential of this car on such a snowy day. Unless you have a rally compound, but that still doesn't help that much because this car is rear-wheel drive. And yeah, you cannot put your foot to the floor when you're turning on the snow, obviously. I mean, I tried, but it spins. I cannot catch up with that. What is that? Yeah, the engine isn't exactly the best for handling, but after all, this is the snow, so you know. Alright, that is the Mercedes-Benz W154. Ooh, another classic car, obviously. And I don't like that. Yeah, sure. Anyway, let's move on to the race, and let's move on to the summer. Alright, welcome to the Grindel Super Sprint, and look how huge it is compared to the car on the side. I mean, the body is... I mean, it's on this quite a normal hike, I guess, but still, it's just for a single seater. This car is quite huge, thanks to the engine and the configuration of it. So let's see how it performs on the summer against these Focuses, of all things, really. Yeah, it doesn't accelerate as fast, but after you tune it, this car is drivable, as I mentioned earlier. Still slidey, but it's really easy to handle, to be honest. Thanks to the power delivery of it. Oh, whoa, 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 buddy. Don't do that. Don't do that to the old man. Someone got stuck with the Marisa livery there. Yeah, that is Marisa from Toho on the car. Who used that? I mean, clearly someone loves Toho, that's for sure. I mean, I do love Toho, but for just a certain character, that's about it. I don't really actually play the game. Because the game is quite difficult, let's just say that. And I'm not the best on that kind of game either, so you know. I prefer FPS and racing games, thank you very much. So yeah. Oh, okay, it's still going to spin after a bump there. Alright, let's see the top speed on the strike here. 230, it's not that fast to going to the top speed. I think it's 280 if I remember correctly. Alright. Oh yeah, by the way, this car doesn't have this much gear when you first get it. Oh, okay. I get so much speed on that one. This car is really grippy, surprisingly. After you tune it, car is surprisingly grippy. You don't expect that, to be honest, by that much. But here comes the struggle because we're going uphill. And this car is quite heavy for a 300 horsepower car. Come on! It struggles. Alright, after this we're going to go on the another drag race. Actually no, I'm just going to show you the top speed of the car after I tune it. And well, this car is really fast. At least for its time. Around, it's almost reached 300 kilometers per hour on my tune. Probably not. But, well, it's still fast for a 1953 car. Oh boy. Let's teleport to this particular highway. I started from here, so no need to mark my route because it points to the right way already if you use the roundabout. Alright, let's see how fast this car is on the straight line. Here we go, onto the straight line, already on 4th gear. We're going downhill, so it will have to see how fast it is when it goes downhill. Yeah. Just consider this. This car can reach way above 200 kilometers for its time. And not only that, this car doesn't use an old tire, which is, well, it doesn't have any grip at all. So like 284 recorded, but it's around 282 in general before it bouncing off the limiter. So yeah, that's the top speed of this car, 280. Yeah, I mean, this car is really fast, but well, don't be overconfident after you tune it, alright? Unless you want that happen. But just consider this. Originally, this car doesn't come like this. So yeah, I'm going. You know what? Let's stop for a bit. I'm back after return everything back to the stock. So let's see how it performs. Well, let's see the top speed with this particular car. Yeah, it doesn't as grippy, and this is kind of scary, to be honest. It only has 4 gear, I think, but it's extremely long. So like reaching. Oh, why? I'm sorry. I'm way too focused on my attack. But what the hell? The bots, the traffic just swerving around like crazy. What the hell is going on here? Fucking idiot. Yes, it still reached the same amount of speed because the power is still the same. You cannot tune the engine. But this is a lot longer. Oh, it only has 3 gears, not 4. Actually, it's faster without my setup. Oh, this is stupid. It won't turn, as you can see there. You cannot turn like that with this particular tune. Yes, this car has no grips. And even if I try to stop, yeah, it won't stop. And as you can see, it only activates the rear brakes, so you know. I know if I try to, yeah, it only locks the rear tire but not the front, as you can see there. Oh, fuck off, Mini. So you won't be stopping anytime soon once you do this. I mean, yeah, that's just how weird their setup is. Oh, thank God I get online now. I mean, look, brake. Yeah, it only locks the rear brakes, and now I'm spinning out because the only brakes it has, it's on the rear, as I mentioned earlier. So you won't stop at all because, I mean, it doesn't even have the handbrakes, apparently. I mean, that makes sense because they assign the handbrakes to normal brakes. Okay, it still works, but oh boy, it's just more intense with the turn, at least for this game. But yeah, let's try to stop here. Yeah, it doesn't want to stop at all. Well, at least I still can drift it if I want. It's a really weird stuff. But you don't drift this car on purpose. You drift it because you have to make a turn. So yeah, I mean, there you go, the Napier-Railton on winter.